What's good, YouTube, and welcome to another KaibaHacksDartz Yu-Gi-Oh video. Today we're here with another deck list, deck profile, deck update, whatever you like to call them. And this is the Big Bobs Mega Melons deck profile for March 2025. I figure we're going to try and maybe keep one a month going until we perfect the strategy. You know, we've seen all the Big Bobs that we need to see, and we could start to hone in a partially legitimate strategy. But we'll get into it, of course. First of all, I just want to say, if you hear some chirping in the background, I apologize. That is my baby quail. They are slightly kind of loud, I guess. But we'll get into the first card. Obviously, this deck revolves around Big Bobs and Mega Melons alike. So we got the Enchanting Mermaid. I guess it also does kind of revolve around, changed card art as well. But that might be a separate deck in the future that maybe is more around the just more censored stuff that isn't sexual, I guess. So we have Enchanting Mermaid here, classic stuff, 1200 attack, 900 defense. And with a lot of these classic Big Bobby monsters, they are water and kind of, fish or, sea serpenty aqua stuff, I believe. So a partial strategy we could work in the future. But of course, you can see the great big differences between the Japanese OCG version and ours. And that's what at least this version of the deck and the last one does a little bit. And of course, in the future, we'll hone in more real numbers and maybe focus different stuff and see what we do. And of course, I'd love to take this into a tournament. So we have the Water Emotics. It's just a beautiful card. A slight reveal. We've been holding on to this one for a while, waiting. Just absolutely beautiful. I don't know if YouTube's going to hit me for this one, but they're, it's covered. It's covered enough, I think. But just a beauty little card. And you can see how, obviously, more aqua, watery stuff kind of fits in. Level 3, 4s. A lot of normal monsters because, they're from that older age of Yu-Gi-Oh! But there still is lots of this that goes on, censorship and such. Of course, if there's anything in the deck you think I'm missing while I'm going along, or any ideas or cards that you think are interesting, I know like Don Quixote or whatever, the one that increases your life points is pretty nuts in the OCG. I'd love to get my hands on that, but it is pretty pricey. Maybe you can find a cheaper one. But we have the Red Archery Girl next. Another low-level water aqua type. And of course, has beautiful melons is looking pretty good, as well as you can see some of the other changes that I like. Like it covers the belly button, which is kind of weird. You can see here it's covered up to the midsection, when on this card it isn't. It's very interesting with the slight changes they make to stuff that isn't directly what you'd think it would be. Next, we had this one in the deck before the Cure Mermaid, but we didn't have the OCG version of it. So, worth it to throw in. Just an absolute beautiful upgrade to have in there. And of course, this one does actually have an effect, which I guess in some ways can be good, some ways can be bad. Depends if you're focusing that more normal monster kind of aspect. But it is a water level 4. It's a fish, and doesn't exactly fit in with the aqua. But it's another strat where you could kind of go in with the life point gaining, because it is, as long as this card remains face up on your side of the field, increase your life points by 800 during each of your standby phases. So there's something to be had there. You could maybe go for like a Big Bob's life point deck, maybe call it like the milk deck. You're living off the milk. Next, we have the Dark Witch, and just a beautiful upgrade of it, obviously. It'd be cool eventually to get a full collection of just a bunch of these censored cards, or uncensored and censored, whether they are the more religious-y stuff or the more sexual stuff. But as you can see, there is some weird changes. Of course, like the skirt on this one is a lot longer. You can kind of see how the color change is very strange on it, almost. As well as just kind of the color shifting of the bra, or like the upper part of the dress. And as you can see, the horns, too. It has more of a devilish red, longer horns, when this one's got kind of smaller, animal horns. Slightly, a lot more, less demon-like, which is, another one of those subtle changes that I also like. Very good stuff. Moving forward, we got the Succubus Knight. Another great one. A great, beautiful little card here. But of course, it's a bit different. It's a level 5, but it is dark. But there is some obviously different strats you could do to lower their levels or use them in hand, stuff like that. Get them, fusions and stuff. But it does have a half-decent attack, I guess. And it is a warrior, which is something. Another, subtle differences, aside from, the main stuff, is, the little changes like the eyeball and such. That it, a third eye. Something that, has a little bit of religious connotation behind it. Spiritualistic connotation, I guess. Kind of strange that it's taken out, but, it is weird what they choose to do. Next, we have Kanan the Swordmistress. Kanan? I don't know how you say it exactly. A lady warrior armed with the sword and shield. With sword and shield, sorry. She floats lightly and stings sharply. Which is just some great lore. Obviously, it's very kind of weird what they've done with this one. It still has boobs in the English version, boobs. But in the Japanese, they're just a little bit more, I guess, pointy, kind of cupped out a bit more. Very strange, what they choose to do. But it kind of is what it is. Another nice card, though. Next, a personal favorite that I think will probably be in the deck until the end of time. Not because necessarily the OCG version is a different, art, which it is. It has slightly shorter shorts, I guess. They're more of panties in the OCG version. But what's special about the Nekogal is if you look at its description here, it is a pussy fairy. Contrary to her lovely beauty, she claws on her enemies. So, just because it has that strictly in its description, and that is what its description is, this is no mess around, it's a beautiful little card, and it does have some big bobs to go along. So, some lore there. Next, we have the Water Dragon Fairy. I don't have the English version of this card, but another little beauty, she's tatted up. She's got the short dress and some bobs to go with it. Plus, I guess she has a dragon. So, bonus. Of course, if you want me to lean more into, there's different ways to take it. I think a water deck is going to be my first real push through of the strats. Plus, just kind of normal monster spam, which it already kind of is. Next, we have the Water Girl. Strictly is what it is, just a fine little beauty. I forget what these two are type-wise, but I would assume, fish, aqua, that kind of stuff. Sea serpent, possibly. Next, for a few of the one-offs that are just classic, we got the Harpy Lady, of course, not OCG, but original version, with its Big Bob still out. Many of the Harpy Ladies, have been censored, when you can still get some of those original versions. Harpy Girl, Harpy Lady, stuff like that, with the Titas out. So another way to take it, possibly. Of course, Gemini Elf, we do need to get the uncensored version. It's a little bit, it can be a little costly, but it is a 2-for-1 kind of deal. And if the point of the deck is just to strictly overwhelm our enemy with Big Bobs, it's a beautiful card. Plus, it's got some half-decent attack. Plus, it's just an absolute kind of classic in terms of the girls, other than, like, Dark Magician Girl. Next, the thing that kind of started the deck, got it popping off in the beginning, the idea, Maiden of the Aqua. One of the few cards that wasn't censored, that just has some El Giantos, some double D action going on. Kind of hard to see with how dark they are, but I think that's why it maybe snuck by. Plus, they are, covered, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything, because, like Kanan the Swordmistresses are covered, and they still are reduced. And, it is an effect monster, so you can start to use that stuff. And, of course, it works as Umi, so it starts to work with other strats of fish, watery stuff. Next, we just got in the 3 Rescue Rabbit. Same classic combo as before. What are you using them for? Spamming out Big Bobs, of course. So good stuff there, obviously. Next, we still have just the classic same stuff and in the spell and traps, but we'll move through them. More of meme spell and traps at the moment still. Soul Release card I definitely want to get the uncensored version of, you know, with the dress a little lower, if you would. In, you know, the OCG version, get that. Next, we got 3 Unexpected Die. Like I said, more jokesy. They're not too useful in terms of what we're doing with them. 3 Unexpected Die to work with, you know, the normal monster sauce. Get a little bit extra Big Bobs out per turn. Increase your Big Bobs per turn account. Next, just an Ancient Rules. You know, sauce to possibly work in with the level 5s. Of course, you got, you know, a couple different ones with Big Bobs that are level 5. Then we got some of that classic water sauce, you know, salvage, Umi, a legendary ocean, stuff like that. That is, you know, of course, working with our, you know, water type monsters, basically. And then just Monster Reborn, Swords of Revealing Light to top it off, you know, classic fun sauce. Moving to the traps, still funny, jokesy stuff. We got the Solemn Wishes. Of course, it's just a lady with some bobs. So, you know, and, you know, it kind of fits in with maybe the Cure Mermaid sauce if we're going to go for maybe Life Point Big Bobs game, the milk tank deck. Next, we got an Armored Glass, an absolute classic in terms of this deck. Again, it's clear armor. It's glass armor that goes in a babe. It's even got like a little bit of a toe at the bottom, if you know what I'm saying. So, gang, gang. Next, Bad Reaction to Samochi, kind of that similar to Solemn Wishes, but a reverse. I'll let you, you know, check it out. And then just some Umi Tornado Wall sauce to, you know, maybe destroy some stuff. Or, you know, take no battle damage, I mean. Lastly, moving into the extra deck, we haven't added much yet. But, you know, we're going to work on some cards to get these, you know, cheat these out of the extra deck, possibly. And if we can do that, it'd be beautiful. But if you have any additions to the extra deck, you know, let me know. Because this is all we got so far. Of course, this one is OCG, you know, censor. This one's just Super Robo Lady. Bringing them out legitimately. Probably not going to be a strat in the deck. Who knows? I'd like to keep it just strictly to Big Bobs. Maybe even in lieu of removing Rescue Rabbit, but who knows? You know, there is some sauce that you need to have in there if you want to make it actually usable. But if there's anything you think I'm missing, like I said, make sure to let me know. There's lots of, you know, censored cards, cool stuff out there. You know, like Card of the, or is it Pure of the Soul or something like that? I forget what it's called. One of my favorite card arts, definitely in terms of the OCG stuff. But I think it's Pure of the Soul, Soul of the Pure, something like that. Card of the Soul, something of the something. Check that stuff out. You know, like I said, check out my other videos. I do deck profiles, Yu-Gi-Oh DIYs, you know, strategies, guides, stuff like that. All kinds of Yu-Gi-Oh content. That is some pretty constant stuff, as well as, you know, posts, membership stuff. I recommend you check that out for some custom emojis. Very cheap, very cheap. Supports the channel. Very, very thankful. I also recommend, you know, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you know when future content's coming out. And otherwise, thanks for watching. Peace.